Boy, we're back again, boy. KP's just finished doing back to back clients, blood, all day. Man ain't even eating and that. What you saying, fam? Where's your audio gone? Audio's gone, fam.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now, bro.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
1 second, bro.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, fam. Yeah, I got you. What you saying?
Yo, bro, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I got you, bro.
Wait there 1 sec.
Yeah, come.
Yo, bro, can you hear me?
Yo, fam, what you saying?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
I could hear you fine before. What happened?
Hello. I'm gonna leave and come back.
Yeah, all right, cool. Leave and come back. Yeah, what you lot saying? Is there anything specifically that you want us to cover? We know what we're gonna cover now anyway. But like, let us know in it if there's anything that you want man to talk about as well. A man will add that in.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Sorry
fam.
about that.
Come.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, bro.
you know what? Yeah, I got a lot of messages. Two things. One is a lot of people they like the fact that we kind of broke down the difference between fat loss and weight loss. A lot of people were like a bit confused about that, and they were getting their messages kind of like their wires crossed with the messaging, like whether they wanted to lose fat or lose weight.
Yeah.
So that seemed to be a good one. And a lot of people have been asking me about training, kind of like specific to certain goals, such as, okay, what's the best training to lose belly fat? What's the best training to build muscle? What's the best training to do this? So I think we should maybe look at a few. And then some people actually ask me about the best training for sports as well.
Yeah.
I think maybe we should look at kind of like, I don't know, we should maybe look at training for specific goals.
Yeah.
So maybe if we think about what the most obvious ones are typically for, we go men first, maybe women. I don't know how many females are in your audience or who we should focus on. You tell me.
Yeah. Many guys, bro. To be fair, yeah, like, you know what? Yeah, I don't know. I am just so flipping. I don't know. I just keep things mad simple, bro. I just like when man are like, oh, like how do I train for sport, blood? Bro, you just gotta look at the what the demands of your sport are, bro. Like it's not even hard, bro. You know what I mean? If you play football, you know that like unilateral strength is important, balance is important, core strength is important, and fitness is important. Like just cardiovascular fitness. So it's just like if you're a football player, train single leg movements, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're a football player, you need to learn how to balance, bro. Like because you're balancing on one leg all the time. Even when you run and jump for a header, you don't jump off 2 feet, bro. You do everything on your single leg. So train on your single leg.
I agree. So even me, I'm not a 2-footed kicker. Like I can pass and everything and control the ball with my weak foot. But I'm not a 2-footed kicker. And so the point is, I notice how much less balance I have on my right foot as I kick with the right. So the left leg obviously does a lot more stability work.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because now, when I consciously think about kicking with my left foot without a ball there, just practicing that shadow kicking, I've noticed more than anything, bro, it's a balance issue.
Yeah.
It's a balance issue. And obviously the main way to train that is going to be practicing kicking the ball. But obviously,
it's the only way, bro.
Go on.
It's the only way, fam. If you want to get better balance while kicking, then you have to balance while kicking, bro. You know,
no, it's funny. So that's one of the biggest and most annoying things I see in strength and conditioning, and this is across the board, is people doing what they say is replicating the sport within the training. I think that's one of the biggest myths in the world of fitness and exercise. Replicating the sport in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, it's the biggest, I think it's one of the biggest cons and training myths in fitness. Like, put it like this, I think, look, not even I think, I know, as a football player, there are things you can do to make you more efficient at the sport, such as, like you said, thinking about the muscles regularly used within the football match, the energy systems used within a football match, and then also enhancing those muscles and energy systems. So, okay, football, it involves a lot of lateral movement, it involves a lot of rotational work, there's a lot of hip flexion, there's a lot of short sprints. So if we think about all the muscles that are involved in that, then obviously I can strengthen them. But if I try and create scenarios within the gym, so I make myself really unstable and then replicate kicking, it's not going to make me better at the sport.
It's not.
It's just going to make me do really stupid exercises really badly.
Yeah, that's it, bro. Yeah.
Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, It's like a boxing guy, like, oh, because the guy's a boxer, we're going to get him to lift heavy weights. Remember the old school one? We're going to get him to do jabs with really heavy weights so that when he throws his hands, they're faster. Actually, you're slowing him down.
Yeah, you're slowing down the hands because the resistance is not, you don't replicate the sport, bro.
No.
If you're fighting with 10-ounce gloves, yeah, doing punches with 6K dumbbells, how the fuck's that going to help?
Exactly. So it's better you make his shoulders stronger through doing the actual shoulder exercise and then allowing him to work on his speed by doing what he does to work on his speed, which is shadow boxing, using the speed bag, and doing what boxing people have done for the last 60, 70 years. And so it's like I said to you, I just think a lot of this stuff is nonsense.
Yep.
Like when people say stuff like, I don't use weights, I just use resistance bands. It's like they're both forms of resistance.
Yeah, well, this is it.
You have to understand, like, they're all forms of resistance. They're just different resistance profiles. It's like, it's not, because you're using the bands, you're no longer using weights. Well, you still are using a resistance. That's all a weight is. It's a point of resistance. And maybe it's more fixed than with a resistance band, but it's still resistance.
Yeah, someone asked me that the other day. He was like, what's the difference between weight training and resistance training? I said, any form of resistance training is weight training, bro. Just like swimming. Swimming is resistance training, blood. You're in the water pushing against a resistance, bro. Like, so it's weight training. It's the weight of the water, like it's still weight.
It's like if you've got dumbbells, you've got weights. We can progressively overload the weight by increasing the weight. What do we do with a band? We can either stretch the band more to give you more resistance, or we can give you a heavier band. It's still progressive overload. So it represents the same thing.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. And when people realize that, then they'll understand, bro. Like the overload, it's just all about progression, innit? There's different types of resistance training, like, and you can achieve the same thing with all different types, but some are better lent to other things. It's just like boxers. You see man punching on the cable machine and that. I'm like, bro, it don't make no sense, fam. Do you know what I mean? Like,
change your whole technique. You're actually gonna make yourself
anyway. Yeah, the cable machine is heavy going that way and lighter going that way. So it's like there's not constant resistance in the cable machine anyway. So it's pointless.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? How is the heaviest point of resistance when you're actually throwing the fucking punch, bro? If you're training for speed, you need to do something quickly.
Yeah.
Like you don't train for speed and train slow. It don't make sense.
So would you say that when we think about training for a sport, would you say the best thing to consider is what muscles are used? So if we was to just give the example, we'll do what we call like a needs analysis. So if we think about football's a great example. So with football, we know someone's going to be doing a lot of running. We know they're going to be doing a lot of hip flexion because that's what a kick is. They're going to be doing a lot of hip extension because obviously they need to run efficiently. They're going to be doing a lot of rotation. And so if we think about the muscles involved in that, we just mentioned them, hip flexors. We've got the external obliques. We obviously need their core to work efficiently to support their back. Their hips are going to get tight. And they need to be mobile because they're going to be spending a lot of time shortening their muscles.
Yep.
So me personally, I think if you get weight training wrong in football, it can actually make you a lot worse.
Hell yeah.
Increase your risk of injury and really, really hamper your performance.
Yep.
So people have to be very conscious about how they weight train, especially if they're playing a sport that really involves speed and agility. Because it's like if you've got too much weights, even if that's muscle, on a frame that's not necessarily supposed to be supporting that much weight, then it's gonna make you. It's gonna actually have. You're gonna actually decline in performances.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't even make sense when you see how some of these men train, and it's like, it's not even, bruv. It's even some men that are supposed to be elite athletes. When I see certain footballers, certain boxers, and that, when I see some of the training that they're doing in their own time, I'm thinking, who the hell are you paying to coach you, blood?
But this is the thing, bro. Like, look, I see people doing stuff. I'm like, actually, yeah, I mean, you're putting a lot of pressure on your joints. I mean, the likelihood of your joints surviving based upon your working out. So, like, one of the best things and one of the most important things you will do for an athlete is actually just to keep them safe and healthier, bro.
Yeah.
So, like, if you wanted it, look, obviously it's a faith thing, isn't it? Because there's so, especially when you talk about combat sports, combat sportsmen, they work on a psychological basis a lot. And so you need to feel like you have the edge. And often to feel like you have the edge, you need to feel like you put in a great camp. You hear people talk about training camp.
Yeah.
So it takes a bit of faith to not overdo the training.
Yeah.
So one of the hard things is to not overdo it in training. And what you find is whenever you hear boxers speak, they say it's actually the fight's not the thing where I injured myself or I got worse. It's actually in the camps.
Yeah.
And I think it's because often like this message of hard, especially with resistance training, has been pushed. And as you know, and from experience in my life, and I'm sure you could say the same thing, bro, once you take resistance training to a certain intensity, bro, your risk of injury it comes up too much.
Yep.
And if your goal is to play a sport, it's probably just not worth it.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's probably just not worth it.
Absolutely, man. And that's the thing. Like, people gotta realize, yeah, that playing sports, yeah, it's a skill first and foremost, bro. Like, if you have that skill level, like, it's all about being able to operate optimally at that skill level, bro. Like, no matter how good you are, injured, bro, then what good is it? You're better off training at 70%, 80%, and always being fit.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Right. And that's just what it is. A lot of men don't even do that.
No, but you're right, bro. It's like even now, I've got this guy I train, and he's a football player. And I kind of, he's one of those kids, like, he just grows muscle really easily. But fortunately for him, he's quite mobile naturally.
Yeah.
So what I said to him is, I said, look, because you're someone who grows muscle easily, we actually have to be careful, because if we put too much muscle on you, it could slow you down.
Yeah.
And also, because you're carrying extra weight, it could also make you feel less fit, because you're having to do more work to carry that body around.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because recent studies have come out, especially with sprinters. And one of the only things actually that's been shown to have a true effect on sprinters of recent times is weight change. So you'll find now sprinters are trying to hold on to as much muscle as possible, but be as light as possible as well.
Yeah.
And for things like most sports, in fairness, bro, in most sports, you want to be as light and as quick and as strong as possible. So you want to try and get the strongest you can at the lightest possible weight to optimize your performance.
Yeah, but bro, if you look at sprinters, yeah, look at Usain Bolt, yeah, Michael Johnson. Look at their build compared to like a Boris Green, yeah, or Linford Christie, bro. Like back in the day, them 100-meter sprinters used to be proper wham, yeah, massive shoulders, massive biceps, and now the longer, leaner sprinters are the ones that are gonna be cleaning up, bro. Like that's what
Tyson Gay, Justin Gatlin. These guys are not big guys, bro. They've got what you call efficient muscle. Like all their muscles are for purpose. They don't really have any muscles that are wasted.
Exactly. That's what it is. And it's the same when you look at footballers and that. You just want to be lean and as powerful as possible, bro. You know what I mean? That's what you know.
Like I said, look, I don't play football now. And obviously I didn't play at pro level. But even me, how I play football now, I know the difference in me being an 88-kilo person versus an 83-kilo person. It's a different ball game, bro. Yeah. And I know if I was playing at a decent level, I would probably, because of the way I generate muscle, like it's my genetic type, I'd almost exclusively not train with weights.
Yeah.
And I would probably do like more slow, like stuff that's just gonna make me more mobile.
Yeah, I don't train with weights, blood. When I'm doing sports, I don't train with weights. You seen how quickly I can put on muscle, bro. As soon as I started boxing, I've never lifted weights again, bro. Everything was just body weight. Like I was doing like body weight TRX, bro, and loads of like circuit cardio based stuff for my fitness, bro. Like man, I don't lift weights, bro. None whatsoever.
Like my resistance stuff, maybe a strength block, 1 or 2 strength blocks throughout the period of time, just to give me a good base to work from. But hypertrophy, in the sense of growing muscle, almost none, bro.
No need, bro.
Almost none. I mean, I do think football players in general could probably do, especially in the UK, could do with a little bit more strength training from a functional perspective to kind of help with imbalances and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think Ronaldo has proven the value of that.
Yeah.
But as a general rule, bro, like you don't want to be overdoing it in the gym at all.
But even them man, there's different types of resistance training. Them man don't. It's not to say that these man need to be squatting, these man need to be on a bench press and all these ones. They don't. They can build their strength. Do you know what I mean? Even if it's just TRX work, bro.
I mean, the bench press is purely for aesthetics, like, and even then, it's not the best exercise for your chest anyway in most cases. But like, you can't really draw up a reason why the bench press should be used for most sports.
It's just not functional at all.
No. And I hate that word functional, but yeah, you're right. It's definitely not functional.
Yeah, it doesn't translate to the sport.
Nah.
It doesn't translate to any sport apart from benching. Do you know what I mean? Unless you bench.
Literally.
And it's one
and like you just say, if you're a power lifter, then obviously you need to bench. But otherwise, no.
That's what I'm saying.
I would do a military press with like 30-40% of the load all day long.
That's it. Function. Yep, absolutely. So again, like if you're training for sport, think about what your sport is, bro. Like think about what it is. It's like even like as I said, when I had my boxing fight, I know I'm someone with imbalances and stuff like that from operations and stuff like that after playing football and stuff. And people were like, "Oh, have you been doing your road running?" And I was like, "No, I'm not running, bro. I'm not running. What for, blood? I'm not running in the ring." No one's there. Like man are like, "Oh, road running and that." That's the biggest myth ever, bro. It makes me laugh. I'm like, man, don't run in the ring, blood. Like at all. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like there's no translation at all, bro. Like man are like, oh, run. Like, because this is a psychological thing. Them man are like, yeah, like I've put the miles in, but there's no miles to run in the ring, blood. There's no miles. Like even the way you move, even the way your feet are, like you know, like say in football, there's a lot of lateral movement. There's all these different types of moving. So even in pre-season, doing laps of the pitch, bro. Why the fuck? That's not gonna help, bro. That's not gonna help. Football, start. And you could argue, depending on what position you play on the pitch, you should be training different energy systems. Like if I'm a striker that spends most of my game sprinting, what the fuck? How is it gonna help me doing 20Ks?
Yeah, look, you see it's interesting. So I partly agree with you because like you said, there's the joint thing, but it's interesting. So like, for example, like the same guy I'm telling you about, so we were researching his position, he's a right wing back and he's very technical. So like an average wing back in the Prem covers around 11.5K a game. So me personally, I believe you need to have a comfortable 11-12K in the bag. It needs to be in there.
Yeah.
Like, so I wouldn't do 3-4 11Ks in a week, but I believe you need them in there to kind of like feel confident, and also so that it's not a surprise to your body. But like you said, the thing that's really gonna translate is actually being able to recover. So being able to do a sprint and then recovering. So I almost, it's a theory of mine, and I haven't tested this properly, but I would almost reckon that if we were to get like let's say 8 to 12s, that's training, like 8 to 12Ks, doing them in a fartlek format, so really random intervals, and then making them have to recover constantly. Because if you think about football, it's a short sprint of usually no more than 10 meters, followed by a lot of recovery pace jogging.
Which is why when you look at proper formats, like even when I was in Sweden, when we done pre-season, everything was with the football, bruv. And the thing is, when you're tired with the football, blood, that's football, bro. In football, you're not
Yeah.
tired without the ball. Like,
Yeah.
fuck that. Do you know what I'm saying? So everything was just sprints, dribbling, whatever, sprint round here, then grab this, then you're recovering, then you're sprinting. Man's not, even when he does 12K in a game, he's not doing 12K continuous.
Yeah, he's not. And he's not doing 12K just running around. He's using a football.
But there you go. And so he has to use his brain. He has to change direction. So him doing a 12K round a track, yeah, or around like a certain distance from his yard home, you can do all them 12Ks you want. Your time can be good in 12K, then you go in a game and get run ragged, bro.
Well, put it like this, bro, just to give you real perspective. Like last year, I trained for the marathon. And when I trained for the marathon, I played no football because I didn't want to get a risk of injury. I basically played football like maybe 2-3 weeks after the marathon. So I still had my fitness. And bro, I was still gassed.
There you go.
I had a good tank, but I was gassed, bro, because I wasn't used to sprinting and recovering and having to go for a tackle and then having to try and beat someone. It was different, bro.
Well,
and so, like I said, there is definitely such a thing as like overkill, bro, where people are doing a bit too much and it's not even translating.
But this is the thing. So it will level out, bro. Like when you're running at a constant tempo, yeah, you'll reach cruise control and then your body will just level out, bro. Like you don't get the opportunity to do that in football. You don't get the opportunity to do that when you're fighting. So even if you're doing a 2-mile run in boxing, yeah, when a man's smothering you with 4, 5, 6 shots and you're covering up and then you got to fire back and then you got to move, you don't have no time to recover, bro. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So doing fucking 3, 4-mile runs ain't gonna help you when you have to let go of 6 shots, yeah, and then cover up and move around the ring, bro. Like, it don't translate, bro. You don't translate. The way I got fit for my fight was by actually fighting, man, and sparring.
It's interesting. So tell me, like, yeah, it's interesting. Like with the boxing thing, I find it fascinating, like, to look at how, because obviously we say that, but then we look at Floyd Mayweather, who always runs, right? And so he's like known for his fitness.
Yeah. So
it's interesting, like the carryover, because the theory would have to be tested on a global scale, like to kind of. But I agree. I believe there's a base that's needed. So, for example, Andre Ward, he said after his first Kovalev fight, he's like he had a knee injury, so he wasn't able to run properly, and that's why his legs weren't with him. And it's something about running that makes you feel like you got the legs. But I do think it's a fine line between running so you got a bit of a bounce and feeling like your legs are under you, and then overrunning where you're now starting to put too much pressure on your joints.
But that's what I'm trying to say, bro. What I'm saying is, yeah, the amount of running that these men do, yeah, like it's one of them things where you don't run in, at least in football, you run in football. You don't run in boxing, like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm very sure, yeah, just from using my common sense, yeah, that the majority of what they think they get from running, yeah, is just psychological.
Yeah, I agree with you. And obviously we can't devalue that, because that is valuable in a sport where psychology is everything, right?
Yeah.
But like you said, it's true.
Because, bro, you could argue that swimming translates better to fighting than running, because at least there's resistance on the arms and the upper body.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
If man said, I'm not going to run, I'm going to swim instead, swimming, because you're kicking and you're pushing at the same time, it probably translates better, especially if you're punching and kicking, if you're like an MMA fighter or something, or even a boxer. Yeah. Like swimming,
it would be more a case of how you do your intervals in the pool. Like you'd have to go hard.
But this is
no carryover.
And most of these boxers even say that they run here because they find it hard to make weight without running. A lot of it is just to lose weight.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
but that's a problem. Like with nutritionists, like I don't remember before the girl fought Badu Jack and he was in his best shape.
Yeah.
And I still think he won that fight. But it's like when you see the girl before that, he's like, bruv, look, man got a nutritionist, man was strength training. He was in his best shape then, bro.
Yeah.
He was in his best shape then. And so it's funny you say that because, like you said, it's interesting how, like, running to lose weight, bro, like, the last thing I would want to be doing is losing weight while trying to optimize my performance at the same time.
Yeah. But this
That's
is
the last thing I'd want to be doing, bro. That must be a horrible feeling.
Well, there you go. And again, I think it's down to
like trying to train high intensity.
Yeah. I think
like trying to train at high intensity in a calorie deficit, bro.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think it's down to old school trainers as well, bro. And Like they're very late in the sports science thing. Because even with me, yeah, I made sure that I made my fight weight before I started training. Because I wanted to train at my fight weight, so I knew how I felt.
Yeah.
Like, let a man go into camp, 6-7 kilos over their fight weight, and they're trying to lose weight while they're trying to sharpen their tools.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck that.
Just look at like the Ingle gym are probably the best at it, bro. Like, and they've had that nutritionist on board for a while now, and like their guys always look good. Always, like not just aesthetically. I'm talking about like you can tell like the strength and conditioning's on point.
Yeah,
like my man's taking the carbs up, down, cycling their carbs for performance, and like it's clever, man. And like you said, like you definitely have to think about basically to bring it back home and bring the point in. It's all about the need. So you got to think about why you're doing it. So I want to talk about fat loss, man. And like when I say fat loss, what's the best form of exercise for losing fat and weight? So I'm gonna generalize here, which you can't really do, but I'm gonna generalize. So I'm gonna say this applies to most people, especially men. If most men will do some form of resistance training 3 times a week and some form of cardio 2 to 3 times a week, they will all be able to achieve a desirable physique. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is basically a full body or a balanced sort of strength and conditioning program. So if we consider the times we're in now, so no one has got, I mean, a lot of people don't have weights, right?
Yeah.
So as we were discussing before we went live, what people need to understand is like all different trainings are all strength training, is some form of resistance. So whether you're doing a press up or a bench press, you're still experiencing some form of resistance.
Yeah.
And so people need to understand you have a few factors that change how a muscle can grow. So you have mechanical tension, which is applying to load applied, which is talking about load applied to the muscle. Or you have metabolic damage. So this is like tissue damage. So you have muscular damage. So this is where you take a muscle to momentary failure, where you can no longer use the muscle efficiently. And that basically means that you're taking the muscle to a point where now it needs repair with the right nutrition.
Yeah.
And I think people need to understand that can be done with weights, that can be done without weights. What I will say, and one of the things that I try to explain to a lot of people is this. Remember, it is harder and the training is more difficult with body weight than it is with weights to achieve tissue damage.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder. So whenever someone who's unfit says to me, I don't do weights, I do body weight, I always question what they really do.
Yeah.
Because one of the reasons I use weights, so for example, why is a lat pull down a good machine? Because everyone can lat pull down, not everyone can do a pull-up.
Yep, that's it.
That's why. So I'm not taking anything away from the lat pull-down machine, but the reality is the mechanics of a lat pull-down machine is like doing a pull-up without your legs being involved. That's all it means. And someone holding you down so you can just concentrate on the weight, on the pull itself.
And also without having to stabilize with your core as well. There's a lot of people, when they got shit cores, when they're doing pull-ups, they swing everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
And that's it. A lot of people don't feel like.
So it's like, it's very hard to do pull-ups until you hit momentary muscle failure while keeping good technique.
Yep.
But to do a lat pull down that way is very simple.
Exactly.
Because the machine's doing a lot of the work for you. So people need to understand, like, if you want to build muscle, you need to damage those muscles. So someone asked me, for example, in my DMs, he slid into my DMs last week and said, look, what's the best type of training to build muscle? I said, what are you doing at the moment? And the guy basically said, I've only got 403 kilo. So look, that's not a problem. But I said, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take up your volume. You're going to have to take up your volume. If you don't want to take up your volume, you're going to have to do slower reps. But I just find that boring.
Yeah,
I think volume is the easier way to do it.
Yeah.
When I say volume, instead of doing 10 reps of an exercise that you would normally do with weights, you might have to do 20, 25. Or you might have to do a rest pause set, meaning you keep going until you no longer can move, even if you take little breaks.
Yeah, you got to empty the tank.
You got to empty the tank, and you got to empty the tank every set. and for more sets than you normally would do with weights. So, for example, if I give that if I explain that to someone a bit clearer, if I was bench pressing for argument's sake, and I wanted to target, let's say, growth, typically I'll warm up. So I'll do 60 kilos, I'll hit 20 reps, 80 kilos, 15 reps, 100 kilos, 10 reps, and then I'll go 120, 130, and I'll hit anything from 4 to 6 reps at those weights, 3 or 4 sets. If I really want to grow, I would then do like a drop set where I'll take the load back down and I'll just empty my tank. Okay, if I don't have weights, what is it I can do? I'll just do push-ups. Put it like this, I've never had a sorer chest than when I done push-ups to failure for 20 minutes straight. Like basically take a short rest and just keep going until I literally couldn't do any more. My chest was sore for like 5 days.
Yeah, absolutely. If you go into the smaller muscle fibers that you wouldn't hit even with the bar, bro. Like I remember I'd done a drop set all the way down to the bar before. And it was a madness. I couldn't even lift the 20-kilo bar.
Yeah. You can't lift the bar, bro. 100%.
And that's what I mean. That's proper damage. Like you could take you up to a week to recover from that.
That's optimal muscle damage. Like that's if you want your muscles to really change, you need to damage the muscles like that. Otherwise, it's probably going to be a slower process.
Exactly.
That's the fastest route. The negatives of training like that, you then increase the risk of injury. So my theory, generally speaking, and my advice to most people is to just do it slower. Just take a bit longer. Like, there's no rush. And personally, I think people just need to take it slower.
That's the problem. A lot of people are
there's a lot of rushing, and obviously the media portrays a lie. There's a lot of people that take steroids or use a lot of help, I'm going to call it. And there's a lot of assistance in their accelerated growth. And they're promoting that or preaching that as a message when it's just untrue. I don't even have a problem with steroids. It's just that if you're going to take them, don't tell people that without steroids, they can achieve results at the same rate or speed that you did, because it's untrue. It's untrue. And so I think when you're looking at those type of people, there was a phase when I went through that, like where I would be looking at people that obviously have some help. It's when I was less experienced. I didn't necessarily believe, because they were calling themselves natural. Obviously, I'm like, they must be natural. But natural means I'm not on everything the super pros are on, but it doesn't mean you're not taking anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you don't take the same stack as Ronnie Coleman did, but you still take some stuff to help you. And again, I have no problem with that. I don't even have a problem with it. It's more like, just own it. Just be real about it. Like, you got an audience that are kind of looking at you saying, right, I want to get the physique you've got. I want to achieve what you've achieved. Cool. But let them know, look, bro, I have help. Like, there's certain things that I'm doing. All right, I understand maybe you don't want to preach that as a big, broad message. But look, it's unfair to just lie to people, impressionable people. That's what I'll say. People are impressionable.
It doesn't mean that these men are working any less harder, bro, because they're not, bro.
No,
They're working just as hard
when you're on the juice,
but they're just recovering.
You don't just take steroids, bro. You don't just take steroids and build muscle. I'm not taking nothing away from the man that takes steroids, like, because they still have to train hard. They still have to follow good nutrition. But the reality is, bro, their ability to recover is abnormal. Because they have help.
Exactly, and all that means is because their recovery is quicker, they can train at a higher intensity more times a year than we can. That's all it is.
Put it like this, bro. I had a friend that was on a good stack of steroids. And like, the guy was in sick shape. He said to me, bro, like, he said, it sounds stupid, but he said, bro, I felt like nothing in the world could stop me. He literally said, this is quote unquote verbatim, bro. Man said, listen, Carl, I know it sounds stupid, but I swear to you, I feel like a car couldn't even knock me down.
No, I hear you, bro. I hear you.
That's what you told me.
That sounds real to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because then, man, if you think that a normal guy could train 3 to 4 times a week, with good nutrition, good sleep, and that decent, these men they can train twice a day, bro.
100%.
4 or 5 times a week, so they're getting double the games in half the time.
Yeah, 100%.
That's all it is. They're not working any less hard than man. It's just that you grow while you recover, innit? And their recovery is just accelerated.
Yeah.
That's just all it is, bro. So like, it's unreal, bro. Them man just need to stop preaching that shit and let people know, yeah, that like, bro, you had help. That doesn't take away from the fact that you're still training hard, you're eating well. Because if you were eating shit food and you weren't training well, you wouldn't get the results. That's not what this is about. But man, out here selling all kinds of dreams for people, bro.
Yeah, gassing them. Like, and the thing is, you got impressionable people believing that that's how they can look, bro. And it's like, come on, man. And the reality is also, the thing is, it's two things as well. It's like, there's the genetic excuse. Is it building muscle about progressive overload? Yes, it is. That's what we spoke about. So
it is, saying, but the overload can be in any different shape or form, bruv. Even if it means that you were doing 25 reps on the push-ups and then you go up to 30. Like, you don't have to, like, you can increase the reps, you can increase the weight. It's all about volume.
You can increase the time. You can increase the time under tension.
Yeah, that's it. It's all about the volume and even the time under tension. Yeah, when you're increasing the reps, all you're doing is increasing the time under tension.
But all we got to think about is if we just use the example of an elite gymnast.
Yeah.
Look at the biceps of an elite gymnast.
Yeah.
Someone who only does rings. Look at their biceps.
Yeah.
It's more than anyone you can think of.
Yeah.
Like, gymnasts probably have the biggest biceps in the world, bro.
Yeah.
And that's all from bodyweight training.
Yeah. And a lot of it is isometric work as well.
Yeah. Because that's how you really get progressive overload, when you're doing holds and the muscles happen to do one thing.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. So you can overload the muscle in many different ways. Ultimately, even when you're increasing reps or slowing reps down, you're increasing the time under tension. If I'm doing 50 push-ups from 30 push-ups, I'm increasing the time under tension of the muscle.
Yeah. The thing is, like, these terminologies like progressive overload and stuff confuse people.
Yeah.
And so what people believe is because it's progressive overload, you can only use weights.
Yeah.
But just because it's progressive overload doesn't mean you can only use weights.
This is it, bro. That's what people don't understand. And that's why it's important to break it down. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no one way. You can do several different things. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said, even with the isometric work and stuff like that, even if you were banging out like 20 press-ups and then at the end you would hold the bottom, you could hold at the bottom for like 20 seconds and stuff like that. Bro, it's still time under tension. The set's not finished, bro.
No. 100%. Bro, like, literally, it's just momentary muscle failure.
Yeah.
So progressive overload is essentially, like, just to explain it, you're basically teaching a muscle. It's like, when a muscle basically, so to give the guy understanding, your body is always trying to gain homeostasis, which is a state of stability. So the whole reason your body gets stronger or your muscles grow is so that what you're providing it is less stimulus, essentially. It gives the body less work to do. So progressive overload is essentially just changing or providing more stimulus. Yeah. That's all it means. And there's various ways of doing progressive overload. At a certain point, when you hit a certain point, as anyone will tell you, even elite bodybuilders, this is where, like, wave loading came in. And the West Side Barber, the conjugate method, where these guys basically started doing, like, different ways of loading. So they started doing, like, presses from a dead start, so like a bench press. They put the bench press on their chest and start working from there versus, like, doing up and down, because obviously you start to hit stubborn parts. It's like there's points where the muscles are no longer challenged enough. So what you have to do instead, you have to start providing different stimulus points. It's like, okay, look, this muscle here is strong. So for example, some people are really strong at the top of their bench press. So what they start doing, they're like, okay, these people are strong at the top of their bench press, but they're weak at the bottom of their bench press. So what we'll do, we'll get them to do work from the bottom. And so basically, it's just like the muscles develop strength in different patterns, and you have to learn how to hit every part of that pattern. That's the best way to do it.
Exactly, brother. And again, if you want to go back to football, do you know what I mean? It's the same thing. That's why doing flipping squats, 2-footed squats for footballers, Like, what does that do, bro? Do you know what I
Well,
mean? You can have an amazing squat, and them man are getting injuries all the time, or because their single leg strength's crap. I know bare man that can squat 150. You put them on one leg, and they're all over the place, bro.
But just think about it like this, bro. Yeah, like even if we just really get technical, how many people have got some sort of hip hike or hip shift? So an asymmetry at their hip joint. So one leg. Where people think this is just a leg length discrepancy. What it usually is some level of discrepancy at the hip, which then creates a sort of picture where one leg seems longer. So in myself, my left leg again, which is my stability leg, is my leg that's longer.
Yeah.
Unless I get a lot of treatment where my hips get adjusted and aligned, I'll constantly have one leg longer than the other. Now, because of that, when I start to do two-limbed exercises or bilateral exercise, so my comes on the left side. So what do I always feel? I feel my left lower back.
Yeah.
My left lower back is always the thing that bothers me. So like, actually, from a functional perspective, so if I'm not taking into consideration how much weight I want to lift, or I'm not taking into consideration max loading, I almost think I should almost eradicate bilateral exercises from my training program.
Yeah.
If I'm
Absolutely.
being completely honest with you, it's just an ego thing for me. Even now, like I like to be quite strong. But from a functional perspective, bro, I almost don't think I should do any squatting or deadlifting anymore.
There's no need for it, bro. Like, I can't tell you the last time I've done either. And to be
Yeah.
fair, like, even when I was fighting and that, like everything I did was body weight, bro. I was doing dips, I was doing pull-ups, I was doing rows on the rings or the TRX or whatever. And literally, like, I don't care how strong I am, bro. Like, it's one of them ones where I know, like, if I bang man in the face, he knows what time it is. That's the only, that's the only strength I needed, bro.
Bro, look, let's face it,
bro.
We've seen many a guy with no muscle that just have the wonder bang. It's like, it don't really matter, innit? Like, it's a mechanical.
Wonder bang.
There's certain man, and it's just like, bro, they hit you in your sleep, bro. Like, you've seen it, bro. It's not like, this is not because, like, obviously, being stronger can translate to more power. But if you're strong and tight, you're probably going to lose power.
But the thing is, it's not even stronger. It's power. Power and strength not the same thing. Do you know what I mean? Because there's bare man, yeah. If you look at Marcus Rashford, yeah, he's mad powerful. Look at his build.
Yeah.
He probably can't bench nothing. He probably can't squat nothing, but he's off.
Yeah.
Look at Theo Walcott as well, bro. Like, that is powerful, bro. Like, you don't move that fast without being powerful. And it's when you're knocking someone out, yeah. When you knock someone out, yeah, one, yeah, is what people don't see is what knocks them out. So the speed will knock someone out. It's not necessarily the power behind the bang, bro. Because Wilder don't hit harder than fucking AJ. He don't. But he's so much faster than him that the shot you don't see is what knocks you out, bro. Like, when you see something coming, you can tense and you can take it. Like, I've been hit by shots, yeah, powerful shots, but because I see them coming, I can tense up, I can ride them. When you get hit with something you don't see, that's what switches your lights out, bro. It doesn't have to be the hardest punch to knock a man out. It only takes 4 pounds for the chin to drop someone, bro. It's nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? You just need to not see the punch, bro. It's the speed of the punch that knocks you out. Even look at Tyson, the man he knocked out, yeah, because he was shorter than them, he was catching man with looping things and just bloom. It wasn't necessarily the power of them. Same with Ruiz when he dropped Joshua, bro. Looping shot over the top. He didn't see it.
Yeah.
It's the shots you don't see that knock you out, bro. It's not necessarily the most powerful shots. So, really, if you work on your speed, your knockouts will come with that. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is. Speed, bro. The speed is what fucking kills people, bro. So when people think, yo, like, I just need to get stronger and automatically I'm going to be able to punch harder. No, because usually when you get stronger, you get slower. So even though there's more power, you're not knocking man out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. See what you've just said? It's like a ratio thing. And there's going to be a bit of trial and error with this as well, because it's like you have to figure out what your optimal power weight is. So like I keep saying, like, I know now, just from a functional perspective, like where I'm at a decent size. Like I said, I don't want to be big. So for me, I'm not really thinking about size how some people are. But like without putting myself in too much of a restricted diet, I can basically be about 83 kilos So my strength is almost the same from 83 kilos up to 86.
Yeah.
When I get to 88, I can lift bigger weights with less effort because I've just got more mass to
More
me.
mass, yeah.
But at 83 kilos, I'm almost the same in power, but I'm way better in every other aspect.
Yeah. Way more.
So the
Your
calorie for me is way
better.
more everything.
Yeah. Your recovery's better. You're more agile. Everything like that, bro. You know what I mean? And
So
it's all about optimizing, your weight to power ratio, bro. That's the key. And that is why,
for sure.
for your sport, like you need to know like where you function the best. I know, like when I'm fighting, I feel best between 76 and 78 kilos. Over 78 kilos, I feel slower. Even if I'm not, it's psychological, I just feel better, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. It's just like if you want to improve and sprint in there and you want to get faster, you need to fucking sprint, bruv. You can add resistance, but you add minimal resistance. Because
It's like my boy, I tell you, one of my boys,
even off like half a second on a sprint, is massive.
We'll put it like this. Like my boy is a sprinter and he's very good. So he's lean, even if he's 86 kilos, he's still sub 10% body fat.
Yeah.
But basically, he's figured out that when he's like 79, 80, he's faster than when he's 83, 84.
Yeah.
And he's just as lean and he's stronger at 83, 84. But he's faster, so his power translates more at a lighter weight. So I think when it comes to sport, in most sports, being faster and more agile is going to be advantageous. So you basically want to try and be as fast and strong at as light a weight as possible.
And that's what man said about Wilder. The reason why he's knocking man out is because he was 15 stone.
Yeah.
And also, so he's fitter than them. Because he's knocking man out in the 10th round because he's carrying less weight, so he can carry his power longer because he's carrying less weight, bro. That's all it is. It's not rocket science, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then his punch resistance ain't up there. As soon as Fury started thumping him up, bro, he was gone.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what you trade in, right? So in his case, it may be a bit of an advantage for him to gain a little bit of weight, but not too much.
Yeah.
Because if he gains too much, he loses the thing that's an advantage for him. Because obviously, skill-wise, he's not as good as the elite guys.
Exactly.
So he again has to figure that out, but he needs to take a more scientific approach to it.
Yeah.
Versus just eating more hard food, which you can tell he probably done in the last fight because he just came in meaty. It didn't look like it was efficient weight. It just looked like he was carrying mass. So Fury had an even easier time with him because of it.
Yeah, it wasn't a scientific approach for sure. It looked like he just wanted to put on a bit more weight.
It's hit the best way of improving your fitness. It's a quick route to improving your fitness, but not necessarily.
But fitness for what though?
Yeah, it's like there's many ways of. So look, basically, I know people that will beat me in a HIIT workout, but couldn't beat me in a 5K or 10K.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, if you want to get fit for HIIT, but if you wanted the energy system to hit high intensity interval training, for it to be high intensity would suggest that you're not doing it for a long period of time because you can't be at high intensity for a long period of time. So then, even though you have a great short-term capacity, there's more anaerobic exercise, which basically means higher heart rate, you can produce less oxygen, and basically then, obviously with it HIIT, you basically have to recover quick and then go again. It'd be good for improving recovery speed, but it doesn't necessarily give you a great aerobic threshold or base.
Yeah. That's why you need both.
You need both.
That's why you need both. Some people naturally have a good aerobic base in it, which is lucky. Some people don't, innit? Like I'm one of them people. I know, that I always have a decent aerobic base anyway. Even though I don't like running, like the base is always there. That's why I can cycle 20, 30 miles and be like, yeah, I'm all right, bro. You know what I mean? But I know the anaerobic stuff is the stuff that you lose first, bro. Like if I don't play football and run around, then, bruv, as soon as I start running around again, you're blowing, bruv. But I could go for a jog now and still do a nice steady thing. But it hits your heart differently when you're doing the anaerobic fitness, bro. The fitness is just different.
I think if I'm honest, if we aren't, because fitness for what is the first question, but I don't. No worries, appreciate it. No worries. What I will say on that HIIT question though, and this is where I've come to. Again, this is an age thing and a maturity thing. I would actually argue that it's probably not the best way to improve your fitness for this reason. in that with HIIT training, with high intensity comes an increased risk of injury. So as soon as your intensity is ramped up, it's very hard to be very technically aware and technically present when the intensity is high. When your intensity is a bit lower, yeah, it takes longer to achieve the desired effect or result, but you can stay a lot more conscious of what you're doing.
And that's the same with weight training as well. That's the same as weight training. Also, your central nervous system gets fried, bro. Do you know how?
Yeah.
Do you know how psychologically hard it is to be doing HIIT training every day, bro? You see when you mash yourself up, yeah, and you can't breathe and you're on a puddle of, bro, it's not for everyone. Like, there's no quicker way to put someone off exercise than to get them to do HIIT workout.
Bro, I don't, look, put it like this, yeah? I almost don't do HIIT exclusively with none of my clients anymore. I don't believe it's a, look.
For athletes, it's not enjoyable for the normal person.
For most people, it's not enjoyable.
Yeah.
And so, like, even CrossFit, which I love, those guys, people forget, like, those guys are paid to train all day and every day.
Yeah.
If I could just train and recover, bro, I'd probably do more HIIT, because the reality is I'd be able to just, like, I just told you I've been working all day. Yeah, I've been working since 8 a.m. today. I just finished work at 8 p.m. That's 12 hours of physical work. The reality is, bro, at what point could I have done a HIIT workout today and recovered and then still done this interview with you? It'd be impossible. And so I know, even when I was doing, like you said, with strength training, so when I was training with a high intensity, and now I'm talking about weight, that's a resistance. So I'll be deadlifting like 220 kilos, 3-4 reps, bro. One is I was really sore all the time, like my lower back, and I was always carrying a little niggle. Two is, bro, I would come in the evening and I'd just be fried.
Absolutely, bro. Like, people underestimate the psychological benefits,
Thank you, Faisal.
Taking it easy, bro. You know them ones there, bro. Like, not every time hard work is good work, bro. People need to get it out of their head. I train smart. I don't train hard, bro. I haven't trained for like 5 years, bro.
Me neither.
I haven't.
Put it like this.
I've looked best when I haven't trained as hard, bro.
Look, bro, put it like this, yeah? There's people I know that train harder than me and at points in time look better, but their fluctuation rate is a lot higher, because the problem is it's not very sustainable for the majority of people. There are some people and their minds are just different.
Yeah, they're innit? They're not normal people.
There's David Goggins. There's David Goggins. Like, David Goggins is an anomaly. So if you have a David Goggins mindset, do HIIT every day, run on top of it, do training, do everything, because David Goggins is special. But the reality is, for the general pop, the general person, they need to find a happy medium, which is kind of something that is what the popular word of the moment is sustainable.
Yeah.
So you want something that is sustainable. It's like, can I do this training? Like, are you thinking about training for 3 months or 3 years or 30 years? I'm 31 in 2 weeks' time. Yeah. When I'm 51, do I still want my body to work efficiently, or I'm going to screw up my joints by doing HIIT training and super high intensity weight training now? Does it make sense? If I train at 70% now and I keep myself just coasting, the maddest thing is, even when I get to 51, I'll still be making improvements.
Yeah.
I'll still be making improvements. And this is the goal. The goal is that you can constantly make improvements. And so small, tangible things. And what I was noticing was that I was getting huge jumps, but then the fatigue and injuries would set in and I'd creep back down.
So you level out.
Like I said, when I got to my strongest numerically, I felt physically at one of my worst because I had a back injury because of it. So my goal was at the time, I wanted to do a triple bodyweight deadlift. I was like, quadruple bodyweight. I was like, I want to do quadruple bodyweight deadlift. Why? I don't know, stupid, but I wanted to do it. I got up to triple and a bit. I wanted to do a double bodyweight bench press. I got there. I wanted to do a 2.5 bodyweight squat. I got there. But bro, I couldn't turn my back. I couldn't even twist to touch my kids in the car. I couldn't bend over to touch my toes because my back was sore. And I realized it was just pointless.
Yeah.
It was pointless. At that point, I was like, no more.
But there you go. That's why when people are talking about fitness, bro, always think about what are your goals, innit? What are you fit for, bro? If you just want to be fit for life, do you know what I mean? Which I want to be. I just want to look good in my clothes. I want to be fit. So if I want to go play football, I can play football. If I want to ride my bike, I want to ride my bike. And if I have to fight, I can fight, bro. That's it. I just want to be everything, fit for life, bro. And when you do them things, yeah, like you're talking about certain man, but certain man, it is like man saying it's like egos and that. A lot of the time, people are training for their ego and not for nothing else, bro. Like man, like when man are saying, how much do you bench and that, I don't know, bro. Can I knock you out? Absolutely. You know them ones. you know them ones there, bro. Like, what does it matter? Like all these men that benching 3-4 plates and that, bro. You see them, man, they're stiff, blood. You see them man on the pads and they're just mad stiff and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what good is being able to bench 3 plates, bro? Like, it doesn't mean anything. Do you know what I mean? And that's that roadman kind of egotistical training thing. You know them ones? Was that how much you bench? The man are always in tracksuit bottoms, blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, no legs, fam. And just all chest, bro. No back and that. Just chest and biceps, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the way to live, cuz. You know, like that. That man can't even run for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you a criminal, yeah, but you can't run and that? I never understood that. Right? Man are on the road, yeah, proper road man and that. But you might have to run from the police at some point. And you're just all top half, bro. You can't run, bro. And you can't even do a pull-up, so you can't even climb a fence. You know, like that. It's like if you're trying to get away from fence, you can't even climb the wall, black. You know what I mean? It doesn't even make no sense, bro. You know what I mean? You can bang 3 plates lying on your back, yeah, but you can't get over that wall. You know, like, man, it don't make no sense, bro. Like, none of it don't make sense.
You know what the best thing is when the hench guys get on the pull-up bar and their range of motion is just there. Their pull-ups are like this.
Yeah.
That's their pull-up, just like half range, bro. And you're just like, bro, like, no, lock the arms out. You see, man, lock out and try and retract their scapula.
Yeah.
Start the movement from your back. No, bro.
Like, them man like they're doing rehab and that on the bar. Like, them man they ain't moving nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not serious, bro. Like, literally, man have to be fit for life, innit? Everything. There has to be, able to do everything, bro. Like, that's what it's about. If man needs to do a little 5K, man could do a 5K. If I need to climb that wall, I could climb that wall. Do you know what I'm saying? If man needs to sprint here, I could sprint here. If man want to ride my bike, I can ride my bike. That's what it's all about, bro. Because if you're training for aesthetics, you can, if you're fit, yeah, and you look fit, yeah, and you look athletic, you're gonna look aesthetically good anyway, bro.
Yeah, you see what you just said. I'm so glad. So this is what the conversation I had with a client today. It's like, look, what people need to understand is to be athletic and fit is to be aesthetic.
Yeah.
So like, if you have a healthy diet, because people should have a healthy diet, they should eat well just for health. Before they even think about how they look.
Yeah.
Before they even think about how they look, they should be eating for health. And before they think about like necessarily getting big, they should be strong and functional, as that word like often gets thrown around. But their body should be able to accomplish everyday tasks well. And so the point is if we tick those 2 boxes, your aesthetics should follow.
Of course, bro. You look at most footballers, yeah, most of them, they're aesthetic, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, like Scott McTominay showed a picture of himself the other day, bro. And I used him because he's white, bro. Like a lot of these black men, bro, they just all look like that. So I'm not using them. You know them ones. Like man can't say, oh, Rashford, because Rashford shredded everything, blood. You don't white players that look like him. You see what I'm saying? But Scott McTominay looks mad, bro.
Yeah, well look at Zlatan, bro.
Well, there you go. But most of these men don't look like that. So that's why I didn't use Rashford. You know them, man.
Yeah. But when years ago, do you remember that when Ginola backed his top after scoring that mad goal?
Wow. Wham. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, looking shredded out, bro. And these men ain't training like bodybuilders, bro. But these men look like fitness models. And they don't train like fitness models.
That's the thing. That's what people need to understand.
If you're fit and you eat well, you will look like that, bro. You will. You know what I mean? You don't have to try and look like that. If you train and eat like these man, you'll look like them.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you focus on eating well and training, and what them man are doing is they're doing a mixture of high intensity, a mixture of steady state cardio, and a mixture of little bit of resistance training. And you can look like that.
Yeah. Well, you see what you just said. You see, basically what you've just said, and to answer most of the questions here, is you're just doing a bit of everything. So one of the best things the guy ever said on the CrossFit course was, specialization is not a problem, but one of the sacrifices of specialization is that you're going to suck at something else.
Yep.
So for example, like if you're going to be a really good sprinter or something like that, then you may not be the best marathon runner. If you're going to be a really good marathon runner, you may not be the best sprinter. So it's not a problem or a negative, but it just means that you're going to have to sacrifice in some way.
Yep.
And this is what people don't realize. So it's like, you got to understand, do you want to be a specialist? Do you want to specialize? So if you're like, listen, I want to bodybuild, so you're going to be a specialist in aesthetics. That means your performance may not be the best.
Yep.
Can an unathletic person become athletic? Yes.
Bro, I don't think there's any such thing as an unathletic person, bro. Everyone's born athletic.
I would say it's an untrained person.
Yeah. Everyone's born athletic, bro. If you watch a young child, yeah, young children can squat full range. When they stand up, they can do everything, bro. There's not a child that's born here that's unathletic. They all pull, they all stand, they all squat down, they all have the same range of movement, bro. Like, that's just how they are. They're not unathletic. As you said, it's untrained. The difference between the child that learns to walk and then goes straight into sport and the child that's sitting down playing Game Boy and doesn't move, that's where the discrepancies lie, bro.
Yeah, look, the reality is this. It's like, I never want to be like, yeah, this generation and all that. I don't like that quote. But the reality is like, when we were young, we used to play out. Yeah. Games like run-outs, and these things are training you up. They're teaching you how to use your body. Adventure playground, where you have to climb and jump and do primal body movements, like natural movements that occur in the body. When you learn how to move and get your body doing stuff like that, accomplishing those tasks, it makes you athletic. Now,
and those are hard, bro. People, I never respected, how difficult they were till I was banging out like monkey bars and stuff, and people looking at me like I was an alien, as an adult. When you see kids, you just like, when I was a youth, I used to be doing monkey bars and that.
But you see what you just said? You see monkey bars, bro?
Yeah.
Monkey bars are like one of the best prerequisites for pull-ups, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about now, like, you try and get most adults now, bro, to do 10 monkey bars, bro. They can't do it. It's a forgotten skill.
They can't even hold themselves. Oh, big up everyone watching as well. There's over 100 people watching. Make sure you smash the like button as well. But monkey bars are a myth. Monkey bars are a myth for most adults, bro. A myth. Just hanging from one arm, bro. Man are struggling to do.
Yeah. So, do you know what? Because I just want to make sure I kind of give people something to take away. At the moment, obviously, we haven't. I mean, bro, look. If people look at my not my last video, my second to last video, look at that workout, bro. I was in a park, and I was.
That ruined me, blood.
I said Rainy has the genetics of a pork scratch.
It's true though. The reason why Rooney always looks shit,
I don't know if I agree there though, bro.
The reason why Rooney always looks shit is because he didn't eat well.
That's what I was gonna say.
He didn't live well to accompany the training. He was still drinking, eating shit food and smoking. So even when he was fit running around, he looked aesthetically shit because he wasn't eating well. If Rooney had the
me personally,
Ronaldo,
I think Rooney
was ridiculous, bro.
Bro, Rooney at 16 was standing shoulder to shoulder with men, bro.
Yeah.
I think he's genetic good.
He is. It's just that he don't eat well, bro.
Rooney's probably never touched a weight in his life because he just didn't need to.
Same with
Rooney's one of them dense guys. Like Rooney would have been one of those guys, who like, even if he weight trained, he might not have been cut, but he would have just been solid. Like, you know, one of those guys.
If he lost that body, he would have looked ridiculous, bro. Same with Luke Shaw. Like, man is saying, oh, yes, genetics. And that. Bro, when Luke Shaw lost the fat, and you can see it a little bit, them man are naturally heavy steps, thick legs, like thick shoulders, everything. If them man get lean, they look sick, bro. They look ridiculous. But these men are not disciplined, bro. Them man are ham sandwich ballers, bro. So man don't respect it. but it's the lack of
The
discipline.
thing is, with Luke Shaw and Rooney, the problem they both have, not a problem, like it's a gift and a curse. They're both just mad talented, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
but lazy.
never necessarily had to rely on their athleticism. Like they're talented people, bro. Like Luke Shaw, to me, is one of the most talented fullbacks in the world. It's actually it's a crying shame that he's not up there like that because he's sick. And Rooney, obviously, we all know how good Rooney was. And I think even afterwards, we didn't really respect Rooney enough. Sadly for him, he was in the generation of Ronaldo and Messi. But Rooney was a madness, bro. Like I think people are forgetting the hat trick on his debut against Fenerbahce, bro, age 18.
Yeah.
We can't sleep on that. We can't sleep on those things. Like Rooney was a madness, bro. Euro 2004, before he picked up the injury, he was a madness. Or is that when he got sent off?
2004, he done the metatarsal. Yeah, he's fit there. But
yeah,
with Rooney though, to be fair, yeah, like he didn't have a good attitude, innit? He didn't look after himself, innit? His body and ultimately, I don't respect man like that, innit? I just don't.
But you know what? It's funny you say that.
The man don't look after themselves. Oh, you're an elite athlete. You had one job, and that's
no, you say that, but it depends though, innit? Because he still had a very successful career.
Yeah, but that's because of the club he was at. You know what I mean? But that was not down to what he put into it, bro. Because like when you look at something like Zlatan as an example,
do you remember the year when Ronaldo left and he scored like 10 headers from them Valencia crosses? He was on it that year.
He was, but man still looks shit, bro. Man done that fucking Powerade advert and he was looking like some Asbo. Dead out here, bro. I'm like, you're meant to be an elite athlete, poster boy of Man United, bro, and you take off your top and you look like Gary from down the pub. Nah, bro. Man don't respect that, bro. I don't respect that. Aesthetics aren't everything, but aesthetics are a reflection of what you put in your body and how you treat yourself.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know anyone that eats shit, trains shit, and looks amazing. I don't know anyone.
Nah. It's funny. This is the thing. Like, I've got decent genetics, but like, if I don't look after myself, I'll get fat. And so, like I said, I don't believe anyone should be fat. Now, this doesn't mean I'm not dissing fat people. What I'm saying is, I'm saying that realistically, to be overweight, like severely overweight, this is not, I don't have a six-pack. This is obese. So a BMI of 27, 28 and above. Unless you've got something hormonally wrong with you or you've been injured, realistically, it's a health risk.
Yeah.
To be severely overweight. So I mean it from
just a basic health perspective. It's not spoken about enough. We live in this PC world here where a man can't say, bro, you're a health risk. Like even with this thing going down, the most people at risk, were people with pre-existing health conditions. And guess what? Being overweight was one of the pre-existing health conditions.
Yeah.
But it's not taken seriously enough.
No. And so this is why, like, my messaging has changed. Like, obviously, I promote aesthetics, but I really want to get the health message across. Like, so when a young guy comes to me, I'm like, bro, get big, man, but just don't be stupid. When I say don't be stupid, like, don't injure yourself. And I've injured myself, and I've had like old guys telling me, don't injure yourself. And I've been the ignorant youngster, like, whatever, shut up, like, you're in dead shape, whatever, I'm stronger than you. But bro, like, don't injure yourself, man. It's just not worth it. It's just like, honestly, it's not worth it. And eventually it leads to you not being able to train.
Yeah, and that's the most.
Like, you're doing mad deadlifts and your back's rounded. You're rounding out your back. You're just grinding on your spine. It's not if, it's when you get injured.
Yeah.
If you're doing squats, you can't maintain your neutral spine. Your weight's so heavy, you're grinding. You can't even put the weight through your heels. Your knee loading. You're gonna give yourself tendonitis. Like, I've had tendonitis in my knees from squatting. I've had an injured shoulder. From benching. I've had an injured lower back from deadlifting. Like, I'm talking from pure experience. I've done my neck from doing too many pull-ups badly. Like, I can tell people about these injuries, and ultimately it's like, do you know what, bro? So you see me, for example, I'll give you the perfect example with that 70% theory we've got. In my sessions now, you see with pull-ups, I can probably do 25 strict pull-ups at max. So it's not elite, but it's good. Do you know what I do? In a session, I just do sets of 6. But I could train any muscle. I basically do pull-ups. I would say 80% of my training sessions, I have pull-ups in there. Yeah. And when I do my pull-ups, bro, I'll just do sets of 6 for the whole session. So within the session, I'll do anything from 10 to 20 sets.
Yeah.
I never take myself to muscular fatigue. So my technique's perfect on every rep. Yeah. And I basically just keep going. I just accumulate it, bro. So I get over 100 reps per session. It's easy. It's easy. And then all you see, so you see even like elite calisthenics guys, how many of them have done their shoulders, done their necks, done their elbows, because it's too much volume and it's too much intensity for too long. So they're elite and they can show you 6 skills. And I'm not taking nothing away from them, but the injuries, bro. Yeah. And for most people, they don't want to be injured. Who wants to be in pain?
It's horrible.
If this is not your profession, what's the point? So even my clients, I'll say to them, listen, you could give me 2 more reps on that exercise, but those 2 more reps, it's like diminishing returns now, because it's like you could get the reps out, but now you're going to increase your risk of injury. So it's actually not, it's pointless for you.
Yep.
So what I would say, like, to give some take-home points, like, think about why you're doing what you're doing. So if you're like, let's just use muscle, let's say muscle gain. Yeah. You want to gain muscle. I would think about doing it over. I would take away the short-term goals and I would create micro goals for a long-term goal. So I would say, let's create micro goals. Okay, for the next week or the next 1 to 4 weeks, I'm basically going to concentrate on working out 3 times a week. So making sure I'm faithful to all of my sessions. Once you've hit that goal, then you maybe take it up, or you say, do you know what, within those sessions, I want to hit certain numbers. So an easy example could be, all right, I'm going to put 5 exercises in my session, 3 sets of every exercise, that's 15, and I want to hit 10 to 15 reps of each exercise. That's just if you're a basic level of fitness. And then the next month, you say, okay, now I'm going to take that up, and I want to do a bit more. Bro, if you're consistent with that, before you know it, your body will just follow. You wouldn't even have to think about it. Be like, raw. Yeah, diet is hard, but diet's hard when you don't really have 2 things that make diet hard. One is like you have to understand why you're dieting. 2 is organization. I'd actually say organization number 1. The biggest challenge with diet is organization.
Yeah.
So today, for example, like I said, I didn't eat. And I was outside and I was close to having something really bad because I didn't have time to organize my food. Or I didn't organize my food. As long as I didn't have time, I didn't make the time to organize my food. So I was going to buy a croissant when I was out. Fortunately, the shop was closing and I was like, do you know what? Thank God I didn't get one. But the point is, if I was organized, my diet would have been fine today. So it's the biggest thing. But like anything, bro, these cliche sayings, but they're so true. Fail to prepare and prepare to fail. So if you want to have a good diet, you need to kind of structure your diet. Okay, am I going to eat at a certain time? So one of the things, it starts with your bedtime. If you're tired, you will eat worse.
Yeah, of course.
You will eat worse if you're tired.
You'll feel hungrier as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
You'll feel hungrier. So do you go to bed at a set time? Can you set yourself a time? Is there a reason you're not going to bed at a set time? Most people in the world will benefit from going to bed at a set time. Everything in your day will be more productive if you're more organized.
Yep.
So with your diet, the first thing is planning your diet. What are you planning to eat? Do you do your cooking? If you don't do your cooking, if you have someone cooking for you, can you maybe speak to that person and say, can you make me such and such and such? So then you know what's coming. If you're randomizing it and checking something different every day, then it's going to be hard for you. Whoever's in this chat needs some help with their diet.
I know what I'm eating before. You know them ones. Like even when I was at places where I was living on my own, and I was working in the gym, bro. Even if I didn't prepare my meals, I already had it in my app here, what I was eating, whether I was going to the deli in Sainsbury's to get chicken. I knew what fruit I was eating for the day. I had planned my meal ahead. Like there was never a time where I was scavenging for food and I didn't know what I wanted, bro. It was always pre-planned, bro. So even if you're not cooking, you can always know what you're gonna eat, bro. Like being prepared doesn't always mean having a meal cooked, bro. Even if it means going somewhere to get food, bro. Know where you're going and what you're eating and what you're consuming. It's accountability, and that is why, as I said, when it comes to aesthetics, people like Luke Shaw and Wayne Rooney, the reason why I got no respect and no time for them is because, as you said, diet is the hardest thing to be disciplined with. So when I see a man's body and their physique, it tells me a lot about their mindset and the discipline that they have in it. Because it's, you know how much discipline it takes to not put shit food into your body, especially when you're already hungry.
Yeah.
You know them ones there. It's a lot of discipline to say, you know what, nah. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of people can't say no, bro, and that's a weakness, bro. You know what I mean? So the mental strength it takes people to say, you know what, as much as I want this McDonald's, I'm not gonna have it.
The crazy thing is, bro, is the level of victory you feel in your mind when you beat that desire. is worth way more than when you give in, bro, and you have that guilt after because you've ate something really bad. Like, so my thing is this, like, so like I said, anyone in this chat and watching this, message me on Insta. You got to give me your weight, your height, your age, and I'll generate a macro calculator based upon your goal. So if you say, for example, you're an 80 kilo male, you're 175 centimeters tall, and you want to weigh 84 kilos of muscle, I'll generate a calculator for you, so you have an idea around how many calories you should eat and how you can track it. So there's simple strategies to kind of help you. So things like using your palm instead of having to weigh your food, you can use your palm, your fist, your fingers as like measurement tools. So there's ways of doing it. But ultimately, like, yeah, so diet is about willpower and self-restraint, but it's like any habit in the world, right? The more you practice it, the better you get at it. And I try and teach people this. If you learn...
That's what I don't like him, you know. You see what I don't like about people, yeah? We live in this snowflake generation, you know. You man you're not ready for people like me, bro. Because I tell it how it is. I don't care about people's feelings. I didn't say I don't like
What is that? I'll be honest. The thing is, I disagree. Like, Rooney's one of my favorite players ever, isn't it? I love Rooney.
Right. However, you see me, yeah? My mentality is elite in everything I do, blood. Elite in everything I do. I don't do things by halves. Yeah. I don't, innit? When man are saying how good Rooney is, yeah, I'm saying, imagine how good he would have been, yeah, if he fucking looked up to himself.
Yeah. I love Rooney, bro.
You know them ones, because when every man's talking about how good, yeah, Rooney is, yeah, imagine how good Rooney would have been, yeah, if he was leaner, a stone lighter, looked after himself, bro. He would have still been playing at the top level now, bro. You know what I mean? Ronaldo's 35 and he's still playing at Juventus, bro. And Rooney's like...
But the only thing is, what I would say...
When Rooney's 33 years old, blood, and man was at Derby County and went to the MLS, and Ronaldo's 35, still playing at the top level.
I'm going to counter you, because Rooney was elite from 16. So I think maybe he just, like, was done with playing with the pressure.
That's the myth, bro. Because even at 16, there was never a part of his career where my man was in elite shape, bro. He was just an elite talent. It's not like R9. It's not like R9. It's not like R9 got injured, yeah, then he got fat. But R9 wasn't always fat. Like, you know,
Rooney was a top boy from 18 years old. Like, we pinned the hopes of the nation on Rooney at 20. Like, Ronaldo wasn't getting big pressure until he was about 23. Like,
yeah, because we signed Ronaldo the same age, yeah. We signed Ronaldo and Rooney around the same age, bro. Now we signed Rooney at 16.
Ronaldo was 18 when we signed him.
We signed Ronaldo at 18, yeah, but Ronaldo played for a better country. Because he played for a better country, they never had to pin their hopes on Ronaldo, blood, because they had Figo in them, man. You get me? You know, and also Rooney's a striker, so it's different. You know the ones, but the facts are, yeah, like, there was never a moment in his career, yeah, that I looked at this player and I was like, yo, like, he clearly takes this thing mad seriously. He's getting done for banging grannies and smoking cigarettes and pissing on people's front doors, bro. Come on now.
Allow him, man. Allow Rooney.
Bro, it's the truth. Man can't handle the truth, innit? For me, if you're elite, you have to be elite in everything, bro. As much as I didn't like Michael Jordan, the man, yeah, like, the way he approached sport, yeah, that's what makes you elite, blood. You know what I'm saying, man?
Like Jordan.
No, bro. He's a horrible human being, bro. But a bloody amazing basketball player. Horrible human.
Yeah, but like you just said, but I think with Jordan, like, when you're elite in your mind, you're polarizing, innit? So he was never going to be a nice guy. Like,
but that's the myth. Because nice guy. Because that's the myth. Because there's way more elite athletes than bro. Like, you even look at Kobe. The way man talk about Kobe and the way they talk about MJ is different, bro. They man say, oh, Kobe was there, Kobe helped me. MJ, no one likes MJ.
Yeah, but bro, but Kobe weren't to the NBA what Jordan was to thing.
Yeah, but that's only because Jordan was first, bro. Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, the facts are, yeah. Like, look at Zlatan, yeah. As arrogant as he comes across, all his teammates love him. No one's come out and said, you know what, Zlatan was fit for him around.
Yeah.
Jordan's teammates
don't want him around. I'm different, innit?
Huh?
Like, I kind of have a mixed opinion on it, innit? Because for me, obviously I don't know who Jordan was, innit? But like for me, I just think as soon as you make a stand to be really elite, you're always going to be polarized. Like you'll hear people say Ronaldo's arrogant, and you've seen Ronaldo, like his teammate will score and he'll still complain that they didn't pass it to him.
Yeah, of
But
course.
elite people, there's an intensity to them, innit?
Of course, but then in the changing room, that's done. That's just on the pitch. Jordan, they didn't even like him off the pitch. You know, man was an alcoholic. You know the one there, bro. He's all mad, bro. But then that's what man
Who's
say.
alcoholic?
Michael Jordan.
He's an alcoholic.
Yeah, bro. And you see his eyes are yellow. Haven't you seen the documentary, that? He's an alcoholic, and he was a gambling addict as well, bro. Like, he had bare problems. You know them ones. But the facts are, yeah. When you look at Ronaldo, yeah, he never smoked. He didn't drink. Same with Paul Pogba. Bro, when you're an elite athlete, bro, you take everything serious, bro. You know them ones. Like, if you don't look good as an elite athlete, probably you don't take it serious. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, even with Dylan White, yeah, when he lost the fight to Anthony Joshua, he said, I wasn't getting my cardio, couldn't have a strength and conditioning coach, I wasn't eating properly, and you could see how fat he was compared to how he comes in now.
Yeah, I think they're like, bro, I think when that rematch happens, bro, it's going to be closer than people think.
No, the rematch will be, but that's because Dylan's got strength and conditioning now, he gets massages, all these things he didn't get before. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rooney got to where he did off pure talent alone, bro, and not application, bro. And Ronaldo is talent and application, bro. That's why the levels between Ronaldo and Rooney are massive, bro. Like, Rooney ain't nowhere near Ronaldo. He could have been closer to Ronaldo if he applied himself. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it was sad, the end, actually.
Because in terms of natural talent and ability, yeah, Ronaldo ain't necessarily more talented than Rooney, bro. He's not. Because Ronaldo can't play a ball like Rooney. He can dribble better than him, but he can't play passes like Rooney.
Nah.
You see what I'm saying? Rooney had more to his overall game than Ronaldo, but Rooney never looked after himself, and Ronaldo did. There was a point where Rooney was ahead of Ronaldo in his development.
Yeah.
Remember when Ronaldo first came, yeah, Rooney was actually ahead of him in football.
Yeah, I remember, clearly.
And then Ronaldo just left him behind, bruv.
I remember Ronaldo's debut against Bolton.
Bruv. And then Ronaldo just went meow, clear of Rooney, bruv. And most of it was because of how he applied himself off the pitch, bruv, not what he done on it.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And that's what man need to realise, bro. Ronaldo and Rooney were neck and neck. You could argue that Rooney was ahead of him at one stage. Now, when you look at their two careers, at 32, Rooney's in LA, in America, in DC, blood, and Ronaldo's still at the top level.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. That's because his attitude weren't right, bro. You know what I mean? Look at Luke Shaw, bro. Mid-20s, bro, and he's not like fucking pie, bro.
You're not a Rooney fan, then. I didn't know that, bro.
Nah, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not fussed, bro. Like, I was always more Tevez than Rooney, bro. Man could have given me Carlos Tevez, bro. Carlos Tevez was on smoke, man. He was my guy. Tevez was raw blood. You know what I'm saying?
I like Rooney more, man. I like Rooney more. But Tevez just cut out for the peas, bro. Man just cut back.
Yeah, trust me. I just think Ronaldo's an anomaly, but he's not an anomaly. Look at Zlatan again, bro. Like, them man look after themselves, bro. There's even other footballers, like, look at Clarence Seedorf. When you see Seedorf's physique now, yeah? He's been retired from football for over a decade, and the guy looks unreal, bro.
Who's that?
Clarence Seedorf.
Yeah. Seedorf was sick, though.
But it's a mentality, bro. Certain footballers, yeah, look at like, Jamie Redknapp, yeah? Like, he's been injuries and that. Genius, all these man there, bro. Like, bro, these man, even Leo Ferdinand, these men still train every day because it's their mentality.
Yeah.
There's certain footballers, you know that as soon as Rooney retires, he'll be fat within 2 years. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, certain man, they only in shape because it's their job. Like, do you know what I'm saying? They don't really take pride in what they're doing. They don't have an elite mentality. Like, even fucking Gary Lineker's 50 odd.
No, I think they have an elite mentality, but maybe, like, you're talking about super elite. Like, Ronaldo is, like, generational eliteness, isn't it? Like, that's not normal eliteness. That's generational.
Nah, but some people can have elite mentalities without having elite talent, though. Ronaldo had elite mentality and elite talent. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rooney had elite talent, but he didn't have elite mentality. When you get elite talent and mentality together, then you get a Michael Jordan or you get a Ronaldo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you get like all right talent and elite mentality, then you get guys like Memphis Depay, yeah, who is talented, but he's got an elite mentality, things all the time, but he ain't got the ability of like, other players. So he'll never be that good because he just doesn't have the ability. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell, bro. You can tell he's got the elite mentality with the elite talent, bro. And really had elite talent without the mentality, bro. And that's just what it was. And if he had the two together, Ronaldo wouldn't have gone so far clear. You know what I mean? My man say a lot about Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is another one. Elite skill, but he don't have elite mentality, bro. That's why man's weight was going up, down. But any reason why
you know what? I disagree with you there. His mentality is, I think he's got the strongest mentality in boxing.
No, now to get back to where he was, yeah. But when he was before he had his breakdown, yeah, like he never took it as seriously. He had to go to a very dark place to realize he didn't want to be there. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think with
great steps
him,
to get back.
Nah, but the thing is with him, yeah, like even the fashion he beat Klitschko in, I think with Tyson Fury, he's so elite. That's why he had the breakdown, because he's so elite. It's like he got to the top, bro. And it's like, brother, like what's next? Because he got, bro, what he done to Klitschko, in the fashion he done it, with the expectation, bro, it's unheard of. What he done.
I get that, yeah, like, but you know what? I was watching that fight, yeah. I love boxing. I wanted him to win, yeah, but honestly, yeah, that fight, yeah, it was horrible, innit? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, innit? Like, because I love boxing, innit? Like, my man went to my man's yeah, and stole the belt, innit? Like, he beat him, but it was horrible. Like,
nah, I like that boxing style, though, innit? I like
the style, bro. I love the hit. No, don't get hit, bro. I'm a Floyd Mayweather. No one can tell me about Floyd, but you see the thing is with Tyson Fury, he's so awkward, yeah? That man don't even turn his punches over. Like, he never hurt people in the fight. He's just slapping him and running away, bro. That's it. But it was horrible to watch, yeah? But it's like, man's like, yeah, I got there, and then now what? But I'm like, no, bro. Like, because really, in my head, yeah, when you're elite, yeah, you want to eat everyone alive, didn't you? Yeah, you just want to kill everyone. Like with Michael Jordan, yeah, he used to make up lies about people just so he could fucking run through them. He just wanted to beat everyone. Like my man was on the quote, and he was like, I want to gamble with the man with no money, yeah, just so I can take your $10. You know them, man.
Yeah.
When you're just a winner, I just want to take everyone's food. I want to eat all your food, man. Everyone. Yeah. I want to run through the division. I don't just want to win the title. I want to defend it more times than anyone else. I want to beat everyone else.
Nah, I'll be honest. Yeah, but bro, I'll be honest, yeah. The time when he won the belt, there were no viable contenders, bro. Like, man knew if you beat Klitschko, the reality is you've accomplished everything in that division.
No, but you haven't. You know why? Because Klitschko had that belt for 11 years. So just because you beat him, if you lose it the next fight, none of that means anything.
No, but bro, think about it. Yeah? Think about the contenders Klitschko beat. When Tyson Fury beat him at the time, there was Pulev who he'd beat, and there was Povetkin who had been done for steroids and had been beaten. So the reality is, bro, it's like, bro, there was no one. You could Deontay Wilder, who they definitely weren't gonna let fight Tyson Fury at that time. And so it's like there's no one. And then, bruv, to come back and smash Wilder, bro, look. I don't care what anyone says, yeah. To beat even the first fight, which I think he won.
He won the first.
Bro, to beat Wilder in that fashion, bro, is like not normal, bro.
It's because he's so good. Man, don't realize how good this guy is, bro. He's just so good, bro. It's the talent, bro. He's just so good.
Nah, but
man have to understand.
Talent comes from the head, bro.
No. It doesn't always.
It's the old documentary.
It doesn't, bro. Bro, I've watched it. It doesn't.
No, watch the old one and listen to him when he's talking about Klitschko. He's about 18.
Yeah.
Like, listen, all these guys can do is they've got more fitness than me. Like, if I get their fitness, I'll beat them now. That's a mindset, bro.
Yeah, of course it is. But what I'm saying is, bro, we're talking about two different things, isn't it? We're talking about two different things. Anyone can get something, is keeping something. It's harder to keep something than to get something. Can we agree on that? Can we agree on that?
You know what? I'll be honest. The thing is with me, yeah, is like I'm like similar in that I wanna accomplish what is unaccomplishable, if that's a word.
Yeah.
And then I'm bored, if I'm honest. And I think that's what
happened. All right, cool. From a personal trainer point of view, what's harder, yeah, to get a six-pack or to keep one?
To keep one.
Well, there you go then. So I don't care if you won the belt. Keep it.
But you say that, but the difference is this though. So let's say, like, for example, to get the six-pack, I wanted to be on the cover of Men's Health. Yeah. Let's just say that's the apex of like fitness model. That's the top of the mountain, yeah, bro. Once I've hit Men's Health cover model, everyone's seen my pictures. Do I need to get in that shape again?
See,
not really. What?
But that depends.
To me 6 months later, where your abs gone? I'm like, bro, look at Men's Health 6 months ago.
Yeah, and then the other man will be like, yeah, well, I done Men's Health 6 times. You done it once, so what?
I'm like, good on you, bro. You wanted to make your life so hard. So no.
There you go. So it depends, innit? Like, man can say I've reached the pinnacle, yeah, but it's like, bro, for how long? You know, like that. It's just like a man saying, yeah, I won the Ballon d'Or once. And a man's like, and Messi's like, yeah, cool, I got 5.
Yeah. Now, obviously, there's that side of things. Yeah, there is that side. But I think if there was a point where he beat Klitschko and then there was some viable contenders at the time, I think it would have been easier for him to get motivated again. But I think because there were no viable contenders,
but that's what you're saying. You're saying get motivated. I feel like the elite, yeah, don't have to get motivated. They stay motivated. And if there's nothing to motivate them, then MJ will lie and tell his teammates he said something to him and he didn't, just so he could fucking beat him.
But think about what you're saying, though. No, what you're saying is true. But even if we think about Jordan, as we said, yeah, like Jordan basically, his first motivation was to like get to the level of Bird and Magic. Then it was like to beat Isaiah Thomas. And then once that rivalry was gone, he was a bit like, brother, like, what next? Like, he was done.
Yeah, but what I'm saying? Man was done, yeah, with all the rings, but also, bro, like, even the last season, yeah, that he won, he could have played again. He chose not to because he knew the team was going to break up and he thought, I don't need to, you know? But the facts are, while from the moment he started to the moment he ended, there was no dip, bro. You know them ones. There was no, I'm losing motivation, whatever. There was none whatsoever, bro. And that's the difference. You see the elite, yeah? Like, they don't have this, oh, I need this to motivate me, bro. Like, they're self-motivated. The motivation is intrinsic, bro. They're always competing.
Yeah, so again, like, I get what you're saying. I think there's two sides to it. Yeah, I
it's
do
not
agree
an external thing that motivates Ronaldo. Like, it's not an external thing, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not an external thing. It's not medals and trophies and that. It's not really because he's got them all. You see what I'm saying? It's legacy that motivates him. It's legacy that motivated Jordan. You know what I mean? The top players are motivated by legacy, bro. It's just like Ronaldinho, elite player, but he didn't have an elite mentality, bro. Yeah, same with Neymar, elite player, he hasn't got elite mentality. Neymar turns it on when he feels like it.
I don't think he's on their level, though.
No, he is. Talent-wise, he is. Neymar's ridiculous, bro. Only R9.
I don't think Messi or Ronaldo.
Nah, he is. Neymar's ridiculous, bro.
I think he's overrated.
Nah. Bro, he's gonna be Brazil's all-time top goal scorer, yeah. Like Barcelona would have won the Champions League again with Neymar, bro. Don't get twisted. Neymar's disgusting, bro.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't really feel the Neymar thing, man. I think he's a tier below them, lot. I think Suarez. I prefer Suarez.
Nah. Suarez is elite. Like, Suarez is one of the best strikers of the generation, but you see Neymar. Bruv, man's rainbow flicking big men with children, bruv. Come on. Nah.
You just like the finesse.
No, bro. He's got the goals of a number 9, bruv, and he's a number 10, bro. He's not even a 9, bro. Come on, bruv. He's got more goals than games played, fam, in football. And he gets assists as well. Neymar's fake, bro. But the difference is he gets treated too much, and man don't like him because he rolls around, dude. But the facts are, like, man's mentality is not elite, bro. You rather go partying and that than be putting in the extra work that Ronaldo put in. That's all it is, bro. So you can have elite talent and not an elite mentality. Ronaldo being sick, holding his fucking children and shit, when he could just be beating daddy, bro. And he's always training. He's not training for the league. He didn't know when it was coming back. And he's still training. You see what I mean? He doesn't train for football. He trains for life, bro. He's tapped. To have an elite mentality, you're ready all the time, bro.
Yeah.
Like Ronaldo don't have an off season, bro.
Nah.
And even when he retired, he'll still be tapped and he'll be training every day.
Yeah, nah, you will, for sure.
And that's what I mean. And that's what I mean about elite mentality, bro. Not everyone can have an elite mentality. Like, people can have elite talent, yeah, but elite mentality is very, very few players have that, bro. Very, very few people have that.
I think it's hard to measure because there's tiers, isn't it? Like, because to be a professional makes you elite in one way.
Yeah.
And then there's another level.
No, that makes you an elite talent, though. Because you can just have the talent and not have the application, but you're so good it doesn't matter. That's where Luke Shaw falls into. I've seen him out of shape more than I've seen him in shape his whole career.
Yeah.
But he's obviously got ability. He's obviously got ability, though. He's obviously got ability, or he wouldn't be there. Do you see what I'm saying?
But even then, I still think there's a mentality that's kept him at that level. Because if you look at people that have fallen out, like Januzaj, people like that, that's a different thing. Like Luke Shaw still stayed at the top level, which would suggest that there's obviously something that's there.
Yeah, he's English and he's white. That's what's there. It's true. Straight up. Man need to know, bruv. If that was Anthony Martial, yeah, coming back for training, yeah, like fucking 2 stone overweight, bruv, they would have terminated his contract, though. It's fact, though. Look at the amount of chances he's been given. No young black man is not getting that many chances.
Yeah, nah.
Look at Ravel Morrison at Man United. For all the talent he had, they got rid of him, bro, because they were like, you know what, they didn't think his application was correct. So Luke Shaw had way more chances than Ravel, blood.
Yeah.
The man weren't talking about Luke Shaw like he was generational, blood. All these men say that Rav was one of the best players ever at the academy, and he didn't get that many chances.
Nah, he didn't get enough chances. No way. Nor did Sturridge, in my opinion.
There you go. If Luke Shaw is Man United, the only way is down for him, bro. Before you know it, he'll be in the championship because you don't have that mentality. It's not correct, bro. And he keeps getting chances and new contracts and that, bro. He's not good enough for him, bro. And that's what I mean.
But he's very good, though, man. That's where it is with my man.
Yeah, but that don't matter. That only get you so far. Only get you so far. Being very good is not good enough to be elite, bro, if you don't have the mindset to go with it. That's why I respect mindset more. I respect a shit baller that applies themselves and gets to a higher level. And when I say shit, I don't even mean shit. Like, if I look at someone like a James Milner, yeah, I have way more respect for a player like James Milner who isn't as naturally gifted as other players, but he works harder, applies himself better, bro. I've got way more time for ballers like that. Yo, you there?
Hello? Yeah, sorry, someone called me.
Okay. Like, literally, I've got way more respect. Or rather, yeah, someone like a Gary Neville, yeah, or even like a Scott McTominay. He's not the most talented, yeah, but he works hard, brother. He applies himself. Give me a Scott McTominay over someone like Luke Shaw that has natural talent but don't apply himself.
Yeah.
Give me a McTominay, bro. Give me a McTominay.
Yeah, it's a fine line. It's like, I agree. I hear what you're saying because the mindset's going to get you further. I don't know, man. I'd rather you say that, but then I'd rather Ronaldinho than Gary Neville.
Well, there you go. I'd rather Ronaldinho than Gary Neville. However, with Ronaldinho, you know, you're only going to get the best out of him for 2 years, and you have to make decisions to replace man.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Elite is a small room. Your damn right is a small room. Man. You get thrown around way too often, bro. Way too often. That's why people like LeBron, like Kobe, like Shaq, yeah, like MJ, like Magic Johnson. This is a small room. There's hundreds of top-level NBA players, but the elite is a small room, though. Like, not everyone can
But
just.
again, I think it's hard, and it depends how many categories you got, because you got elite. It's like
No, I'm talking about elite talent and mentality together, not just having elite
yeah. So
talent
that's
without
the
the
thing,
talent.
'cause it depends how many categories you got. Because, for example, there might be 30, 40 players in football, for example, in the chat of like best players ever. Like when I say best players ever, not the best player, but the group of best players. When you talk about Seedorf and people like that, these people will be rated as some of the best players that ever did it. But then there's only a few people that are in the chat for the best to ever do it. There might be 5 names that come to mind automatically, like Pele, Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo. Like it's kind of them. Four, really, not even 5 as well. Categories you've got to what elite is. Because obviously to be a pro, they're all elite. That's the first
There's levels though, isn't it?
thing. So it's like, yeah, that's the thing.
There's definitely levels, yeah. But one thing,
because you still got like your Henrys of the world, and
you can't have one without the other, bro, and be the creme de la creme. You can't. You have to have both. Bro. You have to have both, innit? And that's the reason why Ronaldo, yeah, and Messi, yeah, are separate from Neymar, bro. It's a mental game. It's not the talent thing, because Neymar's as talented as both of them. But it's the mentality, bro. One without the other, you'll always come unstuck, bro.
I don't think no one's as talented as Messi.
Bro, Neymar's up there.
I don't think there's anybody that's ever.
Neymar's
I don't think there's anybody that's walked this planet. That's
Neymar's
like
up
what Messi
there.
can do.
Ronaldinho's definitely more talented in terms of natural ability, for sure, bro. For sure.
Then who? Messi?
Yeah, bro.
Then Messi?
Absolutely.
No chance. No
yes,
chance.
he is. Of course he is.
No.
What? Name me 2 things that Messi can do that Ronaldinho couldn't do.
It looked better.
No, it didn't. Messi's little short man thing that he does when he wriggles through people, yeah. When you're 5 foot nothing, yeah, cool. That looks better, yeah. But when you're a 6 foot man, yeah, putting man on their arse, that speed as well, yeah. Not no little short man thing. Because when you're a short man thing, it's different, innit? Football's different when you're down here. You get me? When you're 6'1" and you're breathing past man and flip flapping man and step overs and passing the ball off your back and shit, yeah, that's different. Man can't tell me the little short man weaving in and out thing, yeah, is harder to do than what Ronaldinho did. It's not. It's not. You know them ones. It's not harder, bro. Like, it's easier, bro, when you're down there, bro. Look at Hazard. Look at Iniesta. All these men are good dribblers because they're short, bro. Low center of gravity.
Nah, but bro, if Messi scores 30 goals, we
Man are not talking about stats, bro. Yo, fam. Yo, with. Okay, there you are.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yo, yeah. He's gone. He'll be back, guys. Bro, when it comes to natural talent, we haven't seen a more talented footballer than Ronaldinho, bro. Footballer, no fucking chance, innit? But Messi, in terms of how long Messi's done it for and the numbers he's got, amazing, innit? Man can't argue. If man are gonna say Messi's the best footballer ever, cool. But most talented, Ronaldinho changed the way, yeah, man, look at football now, bro. Like, the reason why FIFA Street exists, yeah, is because of Ronaldinho. The reason why them Nike freestyle adverts exist is because of Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho changed football, bro. Messi didn't change football, blood. He didn't. Messi just did the football thing like better than anyone else at the time, but he didn't revolutionize football. Ronaldinho changed the whole face of the game, bro. Man can't say that Messi was more talented. That's a myth. It's a myth. Can't have that. Cannot have that at all. I don't know where he's gone, bro. His internet connection is bugged out, bro. I'm sure he'll be back in a sec, bro. Saying device not connected. Your guest will need to connect there. Yo.
Yo, bro.
Yo, where's your camera?
1 second.
Yeah,
can you see me now? Yeah, we're good. Yeah. No, I was saying the thing is, bro, what Messi done and for years, like what he has done and what he does for years, bro. I've never seen one player.
I hear all that.
Unplayable as him ever.
I hear that. That's not the argument, bro. You said the most talented. The most talented means, bro. Man's got the most in his locker, bro. No one's had more in their locker than Ronaldinho ever.
No, but no. In most cases, that's the argument, yeah. But when your one thing is better than anything anyone else has ever had,
no, but it's not. Bro. It's not. You know why I think it's not, yeah? Because none that were around in Maradona's era will turn around and say Maradona was good. I don't agree, yeah? The dribbling going past people, the left-footed short man seen it before. With Maradona.
Nah, but not in that fashion, bro.
No, I hear that, yeah? But man compare Messi to Maradona. Who do people compare Ronaldinho to? No one, because there's never been one. And there'll never be
another. It was 2 years.
Huh?
But it was 2 years, bro.
No, it wasn't, bro. It wasn't. It was 4 blood. And in the 4 years, he won the World Cup, the Champions League, everything together. And then he called it a day, bro. Bro, understand, yeah? Look at football, yeah? Before Ronaldinho, yeah? What was there, bro? Look at the Nike football adverts, the freestyle adverts, because of him. He changed the whole game of football. FIFA Street exists because of Ronaldinho. He changed the whole landscape of the game, bro. Messi didn't do that.
But you say that, but in the 2002 World Cup team, R9 was the best in the team.
And he was meant to be. Ronaldinho was the facilitator, and he's still playing goals. He's still playing goals. They played 4-9 that Brazil team, because they knew that he got to be of his leg. But the facts are, Ronaldinho changed the whole, he changed the whole landscape of football, bro. Man, he was the center of every advert.
He was mad, but bro, like, I don't think he touches Messi, bro.
Man flip-flapped a man on the touchline and put man on his bum, bro. Like, what man was doing with a football, man was like looking at it like we've never seen this before.
I think
like, when I see Messi do things, I'm not looking at Messi like I've never seen it before. I'm looking at this like this is amazing. But I've seen it before. I haven't seen the Ronaldinho thing before.
No. I'm looking at Messi and I'm saying, bro, like, I don't understand how he's running through elite players like this with this level of ease.
I do, though, because he's mad talented. And then on top of it, man's build allows him to do that. Look at how Iniesta dribbles compared to Zidane, yeah? Zidane looks mad more finesse, yeah, but Iniesta's too cool, so he was just doing that. And that's what Messi was doing as well, bro. Man, short, fam. Eden Hazard, the little low centre of gravity thing. That's why, yeah, Hazard looks better than Salah when he's picking up the ball and running. Mo Salah's a 6-foot bear and he's one. And then Eden Hazard's a little 5'7" pixie up bear, yeah, kicking 3 man. You know what I'm saying? But Ronaldinho was 6 foot, bro. Powerful, quick, and twisting man, bro. Like, I'm banging bicycle kicks and everything there. And 40-yard steamers. He had it all, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is different, bro. And Messi's still probably the best player ever in terms of what he done for how long he did it. At the top of his game, yeah, in terms of what man brought to the game, Ronaldinho revolutionized the football completely, bro. Football was never.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't have to be elite to revolutionize something from a perspective of like, there can just be things when I say elite, obviously he was elite, but you don't necessarily have to be the best to ever do it. Like he's more like he done certain things, but it's the fashion in which Messi's done what he's done, bro. It's the fashion.
I hear what you're saying. You're talking about the fashion here, but you said, yeah, the most talented. He's not. Ronaldinho definitely has more talent, bro. Messi, if you say Messi's better, cool. But better doesn't always. More talented doesn't always mean better. Like
No, but like Messi
Ronaldo
is unplayable.
Yeah.
Ronaldinho was talented but not unplayable.
Bruv, ask John Terry about unplayable, blood. Man, bruv, he bounced, bruv, he wanted to he bounced, man, bruv. Come on. Bruv, Ronaldinho, when he was ready, he was unplayable. He made Ashley Cole do the splits. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's the best clip ever. Okay.
Step over, off balance, man done the split. Ashley Cole, Ronaldo struggled with Ashley Cole, and Ronaldinho made him do the splits, bro. All of the Ballon d'Ors Ronaldo had, he never made Ashley Cole do the splits like that. No, it's different, bro. Like Ronaldinho, when he was ready, no one, Nesta, all these men, he was kicking it over their heads, bro. Nah, unbelievable.
He was ridiculous.
In the middle of the game and running with it and flicking it over, man. Nah, it's different. He was playing with these men like he's year 11 and they were year 7, bro. Nah, it's different, innit? Messi, I see Messi funning guys, but not with the nonchalance that Ronaldinho was doing it with. Ronaldinho was doing it with pure disrespect, bro. Do you know what I mean? Man was getting assists off his bum, bro. Man ain't seen it. Come on. You know what I mean? No. Man have to understand the levels that we saw there. We're talking about two of the best players. They're 1 and 2. No matter what order you're going to put it in. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Do you know what I'm saying? But like in terms of what one has in his locker, I just feel like Ronaldinho could kill you so many different ways. I could kill you with a grass from 30 yards of ball and just kill man. I could beat you 1-on-1 with a skill, or just with pace, or just with strength, or with anything, and pop up and score headers, try to use, man, everything, blood. Left foot, right foot, the whole thing, bro. He was nasty, bro. Nasty to work, bro. But he didn't have the mentality. He didn't have it. And that's why man will always question him. The man will always look at his longevity. That's what everyone looks at.
Nah, he was sick, but he didn't last long enough in fairness.
But there you go. Longevity is what people look at, and that's what the longevity as well. That's why when you look at the LeBrons and that, the longevity. Like not everyone can be at the top level and stay there. You know why? Because it's hard to stay at the top. Like Floyd said, yeah. Or was it Sugar Ray Leonard? He said it's hard to go running, yeah, when you're sleeping in silk pajamas. So.
No, Hagler said that.
It was hard. Marvin Hagler said that. So do you see what I'm trying to say? So when he said about Tyson Fury, yeah, he got there, then he fell off. Nah, bro. Because Floyd got there and he kept going, bro. Because when you, the elite of the elite, just winning one title, yeah, or the title, is how many times can I defend it? How many Hall of Famers can I beat? I've got the mentality where no one can beat me. Right? There's levels to elite. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, look at LeBron, bro. Like, man, still fucking yourself at MVP season, bro, at his age, bro, after 17 years in the league.
No, LeBron, I rate LeBron. I rate him still.
That's what elite is to me. Elite is the pinnacle, like no one, bro. Like, I feel like that room is very small, like you said. It's still nowhere, bro. That's elite. That mentality is not for everyone. That's generational mentality there, bro. Not everyone can be elite. You can have an elite skill, but not everyone can have elite mentality. It's not for everyone. Them man,
skill's a different thing, and it's a different measurement.
Exactly. They're the 1%, the 1%. That elite mentality is not for everyone, bro. The elite mentality is I'm gonna get up and go for a run. I'm 50-0, and I'm a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
Not I got 10 million for fighting fucking crypto or I made it, bro. Like, nah, bro, that's not you see what I'm saying compared to Floyd. When you think Tyson Fury got Floyd Mayweather money, you don't.
Yeah.
You get me? So you get me? Big up everyone in the comments as well. Make sure you smash the like, bro. We've had over 100 people watching the first 20 minutes. Fucking love that, man. If there's any
yeah, it's been good. It's been good. I like the way we just diverted. It's been good. Yeah,
absolutely. 1 second. You're saying it's unfair to paint that picture. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone, bro. You see this elite mentality, bro. It's not for everyone. But I'm saying, because it's not for everyone, the people that do have it, I hold them in higher esteem because I know how hard it is, bro. I respect mentality over everything. mentality over everything. That's what I respect, bro.
Yeah, but the thing is, like I said, like to be elite is polarizing, isn't it? So you can't paint the picture for everyone. But ultimately, even you, like you're standing on the side, innit? So even though I don't necessarily agree with your perspective, what you're saying is polarizing, innit? So we have to accept, we have to respect your opinion on that.
Yeah, of course. It's all about it. It's all about the polarizing. Do you know what I mean? But when you look at that, yeah, when you look at that, like we know, innit? At the end of the day, yeah, the mental side of everything is always the most difficult. Do you know what I'm saying? Like anyone can go for a run. The only thing about going for a run is saying, fuck it, I'm gonna get my trainers on and go for a run. Once you're out there, you're all right. The hardest thing is getting off your ass and going.
Well, this is why discipline and motivation are two different things, isn't it? Because anyone can be motivated sometimes, but discipline is to do it when you're not motivated.
And that's exactly what we're saying again. The elite people can do it when they're not motivated. You see what I'm saying? The elite mentality. When there's no motivation, they still get it done. When Floyd's got all the money, yeah. When Floyd's got all the money,
said the thing is, motivation comes and goes, but discipline, you have to just keep it.
And that's where my elite mentality comes from. Because people with elite mentality are disciplined. Even when there's no motivation, they still get up and do that run.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's why it's such a small room. That's the perfect example that you could give. That's what I call an elite mentality. You know what I'm saying? Because as you said, motivation comes and goes, but the discipline remains. The elite of the elite have the discipline. Ronaldinho didn't have the discipline. Fury didn't have the discipline. Ford had the discipline. Ronaldo had the discipline. That's why these men will always be a tier above these men. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't know. That's perfect. That's actually perfect, bro. That was actually perfect still, because that literally hit the nail on the head. Because we are saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But that literally did it. You know what I'm saying? That actually did it. That was perfect. Still.
I think that's a good place to end it. So
yeah, 100.
Our end is discipline. Discipline is doing it when you're not motivated. Motivation comes and goes, basically.
Yep, motivation comes and it goes, bro. But discipline, you know what I mean? Within there, discipline remains. So you lot can take that from it. Make sure you lot go over to Insta and follow KP if you haven't already. You know what I'm saying?
Follow me. Let me just shout this out as well. You see this hat I'm wearing?
Yeah.
It's called by PS, one of my boys' clothing brands, and he's brought it out from behind. You see, it's got a 3 on it, so it's just saying free him. He's in jail, innit? And he's brought it out, and basically the whole thing is about his story, innit? How he's created this, even though he's thin, and it's just like a campaign to get man out of incarceration, bro. It's a good time to talk about this stuff. Maybe that's another topic.
Yeah, that's another topic, definitely. But I'm not gonna put that in. But make sure you go over to KP's page anyway. Go follow that up. If you got any questions, bruv, hit him up. Hit him up, bro. Like you lot have got access to an elite trainer, bruv. Like you man understand. You know what I mean? There's levels to this thing, bruv. You get me? You have an elite trainer, you got access to man. If you got any questions,
just a quick one. Just to tell everyone, you're not gonna get any fad diets from me. And sometimes I'm not going to give you a definitive answer, because the ultimate truth is there ain't no answer. So most of the people in the comments who have already messaged me, they'll notice that I ask a lot of questions in response to their messages. So like I said, the reason why we don't just throw things out into this, like when we're talking about training, diet, exercise, lifestyle, because there's a lot of things to consider. And so rather than give you a generalized answer, it's better if you message me. And if I get a bit more information about you, I can then give you something a bit more personalized to you specifically, even if I haven't met you, such as your injury history, what your background is in terms of your fitness, what training experience you've got. All of these things are important when trying to create a plan or some sort of exercise program that works for you. So yeah, send me all of them details, hit me up in the DMs and just let me know when I'm there.
Absolutely. Big up, guys. Yeah. Make sure you smash that like button again, yeah? If you haven't already, man. It's been a pleasure, man. Same time next week. And big up for watching, guys.
Big up.